Yeah. Test one, two. All right, we are live. Hope everybody's fantastic. Just checking the stats. Everybody's there. Awesome. Cool. How's everybody doing? This is fantastic. So the theme for today is like, how do we find our individual voice on drums? Which I hear all the time. Like, I don't even have a voice. What do you mean, find my voice? I don't even know. And it is like a process of seeking to find your voice. So I get that. I remember something Jojo Mayer said, where he said, it took me 10 years to sound like Tony Williams, which is like his favorite drummer, one of my absolute heroes. And then 10 years to not sound like Tony Williams. So that's like a 20-year arc right there, and a 20-year process of seeking. And I think someone like Jojo Mayer is still on this process to find his voice. But let's go to like the most basic of grooves, boom schmack, which is just what you would think it sounds. Boom schmack, boom schmack. So the doom ta pattern. And you can dress it up and add some cool stuff to it, but basically doom ta boom schmack is the backbone of that. And you might say, like, okay, that's sometimes the first beat that you learn, even if you're just doing that. And man, how could that make me unique? I want you to remember something right now. Hold up your fingerprints and just think, like, there's no two fingerprints like what you have in all the universe. So actually no two people can strike the drum the same, which is so cool. So just by playing boom schmack, you're actually, even without thinking about it, you're going to actually do it your own way. So just when I play that myself and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to read it off the sheet, and even if you're just like learning it for the first time, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I've seen it a million times. Like, no two people will even do that the same way, even if you don't mean to, just like your fingerprint. So be yourself, everybody else is taken. That's one of my favorite quotes. So first off, we'll just say that, like, you can't even help but be you when you play. And I saw this experiment one time. Just imagine this. This was really cool to see, and really was a game changer. I've always wanted to duplicate this. It's like, just imagine a lineup of like 10 volunteers that are lined up behind a drum set, and they're gonna, just imagine 10 people behind a drum set, and they're all gonna play. And one by one, so the rules was you had to play the same groove, which is that boom schmack groove. And you had to play it just like the person behind you. So just imagine playing, or if you're playing cross, and you go for a couple bars, and then the person behind you is gonna like take the sticks and keep it going. So it'll be like, let's say 4 bars. Okay, next person sits down. So the rules were, it's the same drum set, it's the same sticks, the same heads, and the rules were you have to play the same dynamics, same tempo, and try on purpose to sound like Like don't add anything. Don't add a crash to it. Just sound. Try to purposely just like keep it locked in like that. And let's see what happens. And so I saw person number one play. Next person sat down. And they played for a little while. The next person. And what do you think happened? Wouldn't you know it, every person sounded like a little different. And that's like, we all have two eyes, one nose, one mouth, you know, kind of two arms, look the same. Generally, we look pretty much the same, but we're all unique. And it was so cool just to see that. It's like, see, like even just playing something like that, everybody's going to sound unique, like right off the bat. So what do you do with that? That's the question. That's what we're going to get into today. Like, how do you exploit that and go more into you instead of trying to be like anybody else? Because you can't even help but be you in the first place. And that's what was so cool about that experiment. Now I see it all the time too. Like sometimes when people play, they're kind of trying to hide in the background and be just like everybody else, and sometimes like, I'll just be mediocre, and so we want to bring out who you are and what makes you unique. Now, so what I want you to think of is what's your mighty why on the drums? And that's like the first thing that's going to make you unique. And I'm going to share my screen here. And if you're in the LTR drumming community, you probably have seen this before. This is the model for, how we approach the 4 areas of drumming and how they all tie together. And if you think like, we'd call this ethos, like believing in yourself, what makes you unique, what makes you different. Because as we said, you can't even help it anyway. You got those unique fingerprints. You're going to strike the drum and sound like you, regardless of even if you mean to do it or not. So this section here, ethos, it's like your attitude, your purpose, your belief in yourself, like you can do this, your vision for your goals. But this is the part here, your mighty why. Like why, I want you to think about that. Like, why do you play drums in the first place? Now for me, it's to explore possibility and potential. And it's to go into bold creativity and to inspire and empower others. So I want to explore possibility and potential. I want to be boldly creative, and I want to inspire and empower other people to find the greatness within themselves. That's my mighty why when I play. So 3 of my greatest inspirations would be, let's say, Carter Beauford, Stuart Copeland, and Tony Williams. We already mentioned today. Now those drummers would live those same values. I think they want to explore possibility and potential. They want to be fiercely and boldly creative, and they want to inspire and empower others to do the same thing. So let me find something on my music catalog here. So I'm gonna pick, what's a boom schmack song? I'm gonna go to Tom Petty, actually. Now I would probably maybe get fired from Tom Petty's band, because as awesome as Steve Ferroni is and Stan Lynch, and I love that band, I'm gonna pick, we'll go to like shuffle here.
California's been good to me. Hope it don't fall into the sea. Sometimes you got to...
Okay, I literally hit shuffle. This is so much fun to do these live. This is a song called California by Tom Petty. I actually don't think I know this song. And coincidentally, it is actually a boom schmack groove. So there you go. Probably it's Stan Lynch, I'm guessing. We played a bit of it. Cool snare sound. By the way, we said, remember, attitude was one of the things that brings out you. So just if you're gonna play boom schmack, like, doesn't not necessarily need to be loud, but bring out that attitude. I want you to believe it, or I want to believe it when I watch you. Therefore, you need to believe it first. So when you're playing, it's not like 1 and 2 and 3, and it's got to be like, sing it. Focus on Tom Petty's vibe there. Get the attitude of it. So believe it first, and then other people will believe it when they watch you. That's the attitude. So there's a certain joy in playing, cool, that's the groove I'm going to play. But my why of drums is like, what if it could be different? What if it could be, I don't know, how could we change it around? So I, just like Stuart Copeland, Carter Beauford, Tony Williams, that spirit would make me play something else. Let me make up something on the spot. So let me actually just listen.
California's been good to me. Hope it don't fall into the sea. Sometimes you got
I don't know. I might be fired from the gig for that, but I'm not. I know myself and my self-awareness. I'm not trying to, I don't know, be in a Tom Petty band. And that's cool if you are. This is all about, again, expressing the best of you, right? But that groove there, if I was playing, and maybe the band would love it, and maybe I would get in the band. I don't know. But my mighty why for drumming makes me want to explore like different ways to do that. I broke up the hi-hat. And it comes from listening. I'm da 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 down down. That's just coming to me. And let me say off the top too, I believe open-handed is gonna bring out more of you on the drums for sure. So if you're playing cross, cool. You're in John Bonham, Neil Peart, Dave Grohl territory, like outstanding for you. I love it. But open-handed is gonna, just by default of your body language, maybe you're approaching the kit in a way like this. Everything's a little bit different. You're definitely going to think of things, and also look at the body language. I'm more exposed like this. I'm kind of like almost hiding myself a little bit, so it's easier to just be kind of like everybody else. But here I'm like, oh, I'm a little more vulnerable, and to be vulnerable, it takes courage. So open-handed is going to be a part of bringing out you on the drums. And even if you just play a little bit of open-handed, great drummers, Steve Smith, Kenny Aronoff, Jimmy Chamberlain, I think, who else? Steve Gadd. They play open-handed. Ray Luzier is another one, kind of 50-50. They play cross, but then they'll throw in a bit of open-handed into their game too, because they know they want to explore their own expression. So my mighty why makes me challenge the norm and kind of play different beats, and that's totally okay. I know many of my drummer friends that their mighty why is to, let's say, like be the background foundation that holds the music together. You might be very happy playing all night and just get lots of joy from it. Be you. This is all about finding out your mighty why. I had a great drum teacher. His name's Jim Blackley. And halfway through his career, he just gave up playing live. And if you think about playing live shows, there's tickets, there's venues, there's like organizations, there's stage shows, there's set lists, there's timing. He was like, that's cool, but I'm going to give all that up. And he ended up having a lot of private sessions just in his home where it was like invite only, and there was like probably 5 people there, and they would just make music and share the experience of making music together. No audience, no tickets, no business, no publicity, no marketing. Just took that part out of it and just went with the joy and communication and uplifting empowerment that is music. So I imagine his mighty why was to feel connected with others through the self-expression of ideas through music, something like that, something where you take any need of an audience out of it. Now, I mentioned with my mighty why, inspiring and empowering others is in there. So that would be somebody that wants to perform. It's like, I want to do it for people and uplift many people through the power of music. So there's no right or wrong answer. It's all good, and it's all you. So this could make you very happy if your why is like, I just want to keep the time for the music and be a part of the big picture that is groove or something like that. You have to take some thought to think about it and craft it into one sentence. That's why I challenge everybody in the community to do this. So yeah, so that's why like I would probably get fired from Tom Petty, and like I'm cool with that. You know, I'd be better off in a band like the Police or something, where I remember seeing Stuart Copeland and he's like, I don't want to play a regular backbeat. Why can't I do something else? A groove I just came up with recently. For sure would get me fired from a lot of gigs, but it's cool to me. It's fun. It's my mighty why. It's fueling that. Notice the snares on the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Challenging the count over that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, like it's busy, you know, and that's cool. There's a drummer named Eric Moore, and he played in Suicidal Tendencies and all these killer bands. Look him up, Eric Moore. Very fast, very all around the kit, chops, I guess you'd say, that type of drummer. And I remember seeing somebody like a comment on one of his playing and said, like in a cool way, in a loving way, it wasn't meant to be mean. But they said no one would accuse Eric of what he said, like no one would accuse Eric of playing ultra simple. And it's like, that's cool, that's him, that's what he does. He's gonna play a lot, and he's gonna play with a lot of notes. So like Suicidal Tendencies was the perfect band for him, and anything he plays, it just fits perfectly because he's done the work to find his mighty why. And that comes out in everything he does. Now, I can't play this because this will get blocked on YouTube with the song, but see if you know this beat, okay? Dun, 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 dun. So that's the Beatles in my life, and the beat is just as iconic as the melody and the chord changes and so the groove makes that song just as much as the other parts. Very, very unique beat. I would never have thought to take out all of the hi-hats and put like one hi-hat in. That's cool. So that's an example of kind of what I mean by thinking very differently and just like, let me come up with something different. That was a part of Ringo's why. Come together. So Come Together, another kind of example of that. Ringo's not playing like he did that too, but he came up with a lot of unique parts because he wanted to be a creative part of the songwriting process and creative part of the band. That was part of his why. Now, there's a Tom Petty song. I don't know the title of it, but maybe you can help me with this. Maybe put this in the comments. Someone put this in the comments. That's all I got from it. So the drummer Stan Lynch, who we already checked out today, he played that exact beat from Ringo, but only with a shuffle. So check this out. I wish I could play it for you right now. First, I'll probably get blocked on YouTube if I play some of this stuff because the Beatles are like big blockers. And second of all, if I don't even have the title, unless someone puts it in the comments. But so it goes like this. Might jump in my mind, the title, but the words are right in the tip of my mind. Okay, let me play the groove. Actually, it's almost the exact same groove, but shuffle. Cool. Okay, I'll see if that comes in. It'll come to me right when this live stream is over, of course. But so I want to throw into that. The reason I'm bringing that up is because Ringo came up with a super original groove that's not like your typical beat. But Stan Lynch was like, let me use that same rhythm in this Tom Petty song. So being a chameleon can also be like your mighty why and also be you. So think about that. I've heard Greg Bissonette, I've heard Steve Gadd say that. They both said like, all I wanted to do was play the music and just be like a chameleon in the background to play the parts. And I don't even want to worry about me. I just want to serve the music and just like, if it's this, cool. Their own, like, oh, I got to come up with an original idea. That wasn't even in the mix for them. They're just like, let me just be a chameleon. Now think about what a chameleon is. You're blending in to the environment. That could be your mighty why. That could be you. That's cool too. So see how it can be, some people confused with like, oh, I have to come up with all these original ideas. That could be you. Steve Gadd hardly did hardly anything original. You know, well, yeah, he came up with some super original grooves, come to think of it. But a lot, I mean, he's done thousands of studio sessions where he just laid it down, did what they wanted, and just don't notice me. I'm just going to serve the music. And also the other side of the coin of like, oh, I can also come up with an original idea, because it is within you and everybody else, everybody in the world, like something will be original within you. But even if you're just going to approach it as, let me just be a chameleon, let me just keep time, you know, like a Levon Helm type thing, let me just like lay the backbone down, that can be you as well. So fantastic. Okay, so last thing for today. we're talking about how to do this. So first thing is know your mighty why, which is like self-awareness. You really got to think about it. Usually it's the spark of what drew you to music in the first place? What excites you? What's the fire of enthusiasm in your belly? It's definitely has to do with something like that. Second thing, make part of your game open-handed, for sure. You will be kind of making your hands more equal. You'll be bringing your weaker side up. So if your weaker side is your left hand, be a little bit closer to the right, vice versa for the other hand. And you're going to totally think of more ideas. So first, know your mighty why. Second, bring some open-handed in there. And what do you think the third is? So the third is an often overlooked part, and it's going to be bring out your core center and be grounded on the drums. Now this really starts with your throne or the seat. And who sits on a throne? A king or queen, right? And a king or queen rules their kingdom with humility to serve the people. I love that. Not a tyrant king or queen, like, this is how it's gonna be. It's like, I'm leading from the back. I am the king of the music from here, just like a heartbeat, but I'm gonna do it behind the drums. Call it being a servant hero or a servant leader. But when I'm on my throne, my center is gonna be strong and grounded and rooted to the ground right there. So this means I'm going to feel drumming from the feet up. So when I play that boom schmack groove, so I'm feeling it from my feet there. So I can even just keep my pulse. If your feet got to be somewhere right now. So tap along with me. Now I could be tapping like that. I could be tapping like that. Or I could just be moving. So if you see my knee, it's just kind of bobbing. You'll see this a lot in drummers. My heel's just kind of bouncing up and down a little bit, feeling that pulse from my core center. And then all I got to do with the bass drum is the doom, ta, doom. So I'm not feeling it from the hands up or cross, whichever way you do it. A lot of drummers do that. It even doesn't feel that good, and it doesn't sound that good. And I used to be, back in the day, like hands man, meaning like I'm practicing a lot of rudiments. I'm on my pad all the time, thinking about my finger technique and wrist technique and and just not really. I was feeling drumming from the hands down and not the feet up. And then you can't be as much you can't be as much yourself. So if I'm playing and I'm really feeling it from the hands, but if I'm feeling it from if you look at just what the feet are doing, if I play the hands in the air, so my left foot, I'm just keeping time a little bit, feeling the pulse, and the bass drum is just on 1 and 3. See that? So I'm feeling that. Now I can be me when I play that. And now, I'm feeling that from the feet. Now, I had an amazing drum teacher who's still my mentor to this day. His name's Mr. Dom Famularo. And when I went to see him back in the day, we were doing this concept of the core center, which is thinking of your feet and being grounded to the pedals. He said, go take 6 months of tap dancing, Chris. And I did that. So if you just go on YouTube, Fred Astaire, Michael Flatley, I can't name another great tap dancer, but but just any even the way Muhammad Ali used his footwork, like feel it from the feet up and just shift your perspective on that. So I'm going to share actually a little clip that I actually just found this. And let me cue this up. So this is Dom saying how he tells all his students to play tap dancing. And Dom's killer at double bass. So a lot of people go to him for foot technique. And there he is, the irrepressible, enthusiastic smile. So check this little clip out.
So I just started to see the correlation between that. And there are all my students that come to that want to learn double bass playing. I said, this is great. We're going to learn double pedal. This is fantastic. You guys are going to be great. I want you taking some tap dance lessons. Imagine telling that when I tell someone who comes into my studio with, big hair on their face and they got big hair in their chests and tattoos and, rings hanging and their hair is bushy. And these are the women. I teach in New York. And they come in there and I tell them, you got to learn tap dancing. They look at me like, you're out of your mind. I said, listen, I'm not talking about a pink tutu you're going to wear. And when I take them to a tap dancing class, which I do, and they tap dance, they get it. It's amazing.
I feel that way about singers too. A lot of great singers came from behind the drum set. Mm-hmm. There's something about the rhythm of learning the drums and putting that into your vocal rhythm. It's kind of like the same thing you're saying with the tap dancing and putting it in the rhythm. It's a great thing.
Buddy Rich sang, Phil Collins, excellent dancer.
Yeah.
So when you start to see the correlation.
I love that. And I'm going to throw in an idea here. What I have in my book, The LTR Drumming Life Through Rhythm, the LTR Drumming Method, is if you think life through rhythm, we are, life is drumming and drumming is life. There's that connection. So who we are as people comes out on the drums, and who we are as drummers comes out when we're in our day-to-day life going around as people. This is why confidence to be you is the theme of today. And that's what this is about. It's everything, no matter what you play. And what one little idea and chapter in the book is to master one discipline, you must go outside it. So as drummers, you're watching a drum masterclass right now, and we love drum books and we study drums and drums. It's so great, but go outside it to find you. Now it might be going into painting. It might, Steve Jobs from Apple studied calligraphy and brought it into his work with creating great computer products. It's whatever. It could be cooking. It could be studying Navy SEALs and the courage that they display in, your mighty mission in life. Whatever it is, bring that into your drumming. So the two things there, singing and dancing. Singing and dancing, so that when you play, even just like a simple boom schmack, more of you will come out. Ironically, the more drumming that's in your head, the less of you will come out. So last thing for today with the feet, one thing that we take everybody through is this thing called the Lesso foot ostinato. Let me find it here and bring it up. I got a lot of stuff up here. Not sure if you're seeing it. Oh my gosh, I got a lot of stuff. There we go. So now an ostinato is a repeating pattern. We went into this a little bit more if you watch one of the past live streams, all on foot technique. But basically, I'm just sharing a way that I work on my feet right away just by themselves. And I actually start my practice off with this to get grounded and to get that dancing feeling, to feel my feet on my pedals and I'm on the balls of my feet. And it's just awesome. So whether you can read music or not, the X is keeping time. So that's going to be the symbol. And notice it, all it is a double on the bass drum, and then off the beat. So I'm either doing it on the beat, so that'd be the first one, or off the beat, which kind of starts in between. And then I'll just scan over this a bit, but I could throw in one bass drum. And you can hear my dog going crazy. He loves this stuff. He loves when I get my feet going. Okay, if you go down here and the circle's like a slash on the hi-hat. So some of these examples here, so everybody that goes through the LTR drumming method, we find your voice and we definitely get you rooted to the ground and doing the feet. So I've got a whole course on this. If you connect with me, I'll take you through it. And hit me in the comments. I'll give you this PDF here, of course, for free. I want you drumming, working on your feet. But if you look at some of these phrases here, like in some of the quotes I threw in, like feel the foot plate beneath your feet, flip around your feet. At the top, I threw in like stay grounded, feel your drumming from the feet up. Don't play the drums, dance the drums. All this ties into play with some of these patterns. So if I throw in, and I love doing this to music. So let me actually, maybe I'll just leave that up for a second. So I'm going to play this song I've just discovered by Tom Petty called California. And I'll show you an example of how I might come up with something for the feet.
Trust yourself, it ain't like anywhere else. It ain't like.
What's fun is it could be to any song. And this is how I start off a lot of my practices. Sometimes just a random song. Hey, Tom Petty, shuffle. Okay, cool. Here's something. So notice the pulse is right there. Now, drumming is all about pulse. Music is all about pulse. So if you just get one of your feet keeping time, cool. Like, that's awesome. Now that could be the right foot too. Could be both feet at the same time. Let me actually throw in my, I hope you can see this. Throw in my foot view. Yeah, this is cool. How about that? Okay, so both feet up. I'm not cranked up like that. I'm not heeled down, although you could go heel down. But just to get that grounded balance feeling, I'm a little bit heel up. Left foot by itself, right foot by itself, both feet by itself. Or both feet by themselves. So if I play this song again.
Anywhere else.
Now if I play a double on the beat,
Time to roll. All done. It's time we better hit the road.
off the beat,
That work. Later on.
have fun swiveling your heels a little bit. Now alternate is this pattern right here.
California's been good to me. I hope you don't fall into the.
Reverse it.
Sometimes you got to save yourself. It ain't like anywhere else. No, ain't like.
The more you play with it, the speed will come. You can hear I'm not as comfortable with that with my left foot, but I'm working on it. And that's a tap dancing thing, getting that double da-da. So I'm just coming down, one stroke like that, ending in the rest position. But right when I came down, I'm like tap, tap down, tap down. Total tap dancing thing. Da-da, da-da. So slow will look like that. Fast, it might look something like that. And yeah, as this goes on, I can just have fun creating different patterns with it. So notice the one foot would be in between, by the way. That's like a single hit. You could also do unison hits. It's fun to do this, throw your hands in. So again, there's that kind of tap dancing, da, 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 just getting that where you might feel that burn in there a little bit. You're not that fast at first, don't worry, slowly you'll get there, and just going in between the hands. But that's going away from the feet only. So, but having that single hit in there is super cool. But I might just have fun with it. So I might listening to the song. Da, 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 da. Just mixing together those parts. Da, 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 da. So I'm feeling rooted, grounded and rooted. Now, when I bring in the hands later, oh yeah. Totally. So I'm totally feeling that from here now. Yeah. Now that feels great. And now I'm able to express who I am on the drums, even by doing something that simple. And I'll share one more quick story before we go today. I did years ago an audition for the Blue Man Group. Now that's funny because I know you're like, man, Chris, why didn't you get in? I should have just went painted as blue. And they're like, hey, you're one of us for sure. Come on, you know, doing all the stuff. But I didn't get the gig, and this was a long, maybe 20 years ago in Toronto, and they did what's called a cattle call. And a cattle call is like, you just put out the word, Blue Man Group is auditioning drummers, come on out. And there was like a lineup of drummers all around the block, and you're seeing friends, and it's fun anyway as a drum hang. And everybody's telling each other like, yeah, go to the Blue Man audition. And it was super simple. They called in 10 drummers at a time, and they had the working, I think the New York band was a trio, guitar, bass, drums. And they said, we're just going to play a 30-second song and just watch it and then come up and play it. And that's it. So, okay, we're just going to play 20, 30 seconds of a tune, out. Who wants to go first? And you just literally have to watch it and just do the best you can. And I'll never forget it. I might not even be able to do it right now. So the first part, it was kind of like think like Smells Like Teen Spirit kind of thing, right? Something like that. Let's just say it was something high energy, right? Like that was like the first section I remember. And then the second section was like a tom groove. So if you think like, I don't know, like, Back in the USSR by the Beatles or something. Add in a little bit of something like that, or all the small things. So that type of tom groove rock, you know, kind of punk rock type thing. But what was underneath was the feet were doing this. I remember, I'll never forget it. The feet were actually doing this. So that's a challenge. Even right now, I'm just like, I'm not used to that. It's challenging my center. So you gotta like practice that. So it's fast eighth notes, not too loud in unison. Which we like never do as drummers, right? So I remember the tom groove was like over that. I'm not even sure I could do that right now. I'd have to practice this, but like, so let's say that's underneath, and let's say that's the groove. Ah. Yeah, I've kind of got it, right? It's been like 20 years since I auditioned for Blue Man, but but I remember that they were challenging the drummers probably to see like who's got like who's playing from the core, who's got their feet together. And I definitely didn't play that groove that day. I just played something like it. Something I already knew. And I remember in my group of 10 drummers, like really good drummers were there. No one played that exact groove. And I don't think you had to play that exact groove to get in. I think look was a part of it, and just, your vibe. I think they didn't want a ball drummer. I think some dude with a mohawk got it, but but I remember just they were throwing that out there to like, okay, this will be a good thing to test a drummer, like who's grounded and who's got their foot game kind of together, or at least close to that level. I just thought that was cool, and I never forgot it. And even doing it right now, like I should actually maybe throw that into my practice. So try that. It's like keep those light eighth notes and try playing something over top. So notice I slow it down, and I want you to see me struggle with something, right? Always something to work on. I want it to be clean. Such a different type beat that we don't normally play, right? So, okay, I hope this was fun for you today. So the theme has been finding your voice on the drums. And this is the LTR drumming community, Life Through Rhythm worldwide drumming community. So join me, get on the email list. I've got tons of free stuff. LTR Drumming Podcast. You may be on the LTR Drumming YouTube channel right now. If you got a question, throw that out there. We're just going to wrap things up today. And actually, right now, I'm doing a new version of the LTR Drumming Method course. So you can sign up. There's a small group. We're closing doors soon, but to be part of this 6-week run where I'm going to try out some new stuff, and I'm going to get everybody's input to build this really awesome newer version. And based around, as you saw it today, based around the big 4 areas right there. And if you're just seeing this for the first time, ethos is speaking your voice, playing with awesome attitude, vision, energy, purpose, all that. Flow is just playing effortlessly around the kit, where it's just the ideas come and everything flows, and you're able just to go into that fun and just have fun playing drums where it's effortless and you float around the set. And then, of course, getting your daily practice together, optimizing your environment, stacking up those 1% wins over time, and rhythm. Of course, just mastering your rhythmic game where you can sing your grooves. We did a bit of it today. You can create anything you want and just serve the music and be a servant hero of the music. So go to chrislasso.com, connect with me, get on the list. And if you want, we're going to be closing doors soon, but we're doing this really cool 6-week run where you can beta test the course with me. It's a massive discount for everybody that's in it. And join the movement, join the Life Through Rhythm drumming community,